Immersed in the profound wisdom of the Shandilya Bhakti Sutras, ancient verses, revered as a pinnacle of devotion and spiritual awareness. Under the guidance of His Holiness Swami Jyotirmayananda, plunge into the infinite ocean of this revered scripture. Discover its hidden truths. Embrace its transformative power. Awaken to new realms of divine love and spiritual awareness. The depths are calling. The deeper you dive, the more treasures you'll discover. And now, Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda.
Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. Shandilya Bhakti Sutras, Sutra number 79. The topic here is the role of devotion. The devotion can be secondary devotion. It can be primary devotion. Secondary devotion has its own advantage, powerful effect. But secondary devotion is not one-pointed devotion directed to God. Remember, 4 types of devotees turn to God. Devotees in distress, artha. And when distressing situation moves away, the devotion slows down. The story of a village man who climbed upon a big coconut tree with the idea of bringing down many coconuts. And he did, lots of coconuts. But when he looked down, after he had all done that, by this time he had weakened himself. And he felt it impossible for him to come down. So turned to God, "Oh God, please, bless me, help me. If you do, I will give away all these coconuts to the temple. Donation." Soon he felt a little strength. He slid down a little. When he came halfway or somewhere down, he said, "God doesn't want quantity." Yes. Patram pushpam phalam toya. You can just give him a leaf, just give him a flower. So I will give him 50 coconuts. And he came down a little more. The statement, God doesn't need much. He needs only your feeling. Finally, he happened to give just a few of those coconuts. This is just an illustration of distress. Then people who turn to God, they are called artharthi bhaktas. Suddenly you are facing certain problem of economical nature or any type of success. If a student wants to succeed, a businessman wants to succeed. In order to get success, you need a computer or some things. Turn to God, "Oh God, give me the resources to have what I need. And things work out. And then that's it. You are convinced that God has been very kind. But that's it. There is no total devotion. Third type of devotee is called jignasu. Whenever there is an intellectual problem that he can't resolve, then he turns to God. All these are called secondary devotees. The ideal devotee is jnani. Jnani is one who has full awareness that God is the reality in his personality. With ego, he is just a wave in the midst of countless waves. The reality of any wave is nothing but the ocean. So the knowledge implies you develop that awareness. I am ocean-like. I am one with God. Put this interpretation at a little higher level. People turn to God because their heart has developed a special sensitivity. You have developed the understanding of the immense power of love. And so you want to love God. But you have not developed clarity of intellect. Even so, this attainment is powerful. But it is not perfect. Your heart cannot really expand if your personality is off balance. Always remember, you have 4 aspects in your personality: action, emotion, will, and reason. So if you are emotionally very profound, you are not perfect devotee. A healthy development of your emotion implies that your will become very strong. Your intellect will clear up, and your actions will be profound. You will not falter in performing your duties. All these 4 aspects are interconnected. If you advance on any one of the 4, the other 3 have to blossom. And if you begin your sadhana with the perfect understanding of the importance of all the 4, then you are developing profound devotion. If you have developed that profound devotion, then all karmas will be swept away. If you are developing secondary devotion, some sinful karmas from the past, some negative karmas will move away, but all karmas will not. If karmas do not move away, then you are coming back into the world. You may enjoy great prosperity. But no matter how prosperous you are, suppose for a series of 7 lives, you enjoyed a role of being emperor. I'm not talking in a political way. Very happy. Very prosperous. 7 lives. Even 1 life, people brag about how successful am I. But after 7 lives, the 8th one tumbled down into lower level. That should not be the goal. The goal is when all karmas are destroyed, positive and negative, both, This point has to be understood well. When we say positive karma, it's called virtue. Virtuous karmas conducted by your ego. You have developed a concept within you, if I do a lot of charity, then in heavenly world I will be recognized. I will have more of God's favor. And led by that type of attitude, vast majority of people do perform great acts of charity. But their perfectly accounting is done for all tax deductions. It's good, it's recognized as good. But that won't give you liberation, because you have inflated your ego along with it. That I am doer of so many good things. As a result, God will compensate for all I have done. So there will be heavenly reward. But this doesn't please people who have sharp, subtle intellect. Because the question arises, how long? If the force of your good karma keeps you in heaven, and one day it will be depleted. It's a bag of good karmas. And one day it will all be exhausted. So back into the same world process. Even if you were to be in a very pleasant situation for 1 million years in the context of the universe, so many planets and stars have come and gone. Even that is not the goal. Goal is just to come to a quicker conclusion. The goal is to attain liberation. You need to understand that your accomplishment is not on the basis of ego. All things that we accomplish led by your ego are in the realm of time and space. All things that are in the realm of time, they are perishing, transient. They are like clouds. They come and go. Your goal is not just to secure happiness for a certain duration. Your goal is to discover your unity with God. I am innately the same. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. This again I have explained to you. There are 3 levels. Deha buddhyatu dasoham. To the extent you are constantly aware of your body identity, try to develop the attitude, I am, led by God. Let it be His will, not mine. I am an instrument in His hand. I am a slave, He is the master. Again, slave not in the ordinary sense. Jiva buddhya tvadanshaka. To the extent you realize that you are a spirit, a soul. What type of soul? A soul is a ray. If God is the sun, a soul is a ray of it. While saying it seems very simple, little. But how can you separate a ray from the sun? If you are a ray, you are the sun also. So at the highest level, absolute. So devotion starts in 3 stages. You continue to feel I am doing, God is working through me, and go on discovering the sweetness of surrender and the miracle of divine grace operating in your life. Inwardly, you go on developing divine qualities. Be as perfect as the Father in heaven. think of His qualities and try to develop those qualities. You don't have to exercise too much. Goodness is known to everybody. How to be good, how to be gentle, how to be forgiving, compassionate. When you develop these qualities, the ray of God is operating. You discover yourself a ray. And then you become greedy. Why should I be a ray? I have this. The ego in you fades away. The awareness, I am. Aham Brahmasmi, that absolute. In 79 it says, Yato yavipakva bhavanamapi talloke. Even those with imperfect devotion will gradually become perfect in the Lord's abode. If you have started imperfect devotion, which is normal, you can't start the perfect one. And suppose, without completing the process to have the supreme devotion, you pass away. The force of devotion will lead you from loka to loka, from plane to plane, talking about the mystic planes. And you will go on perfecting your devotion without coming back into human embodiment. That scriptures have dramatized it in a very symbolic and allegorical stories. How in higher world you are recognized, good chair is given to you, and sages come to you and bless you. All details, I'm not going to bring that out because they are allegorical. The main idea is that you go on expanding. The ideal is that you attain enlightenment, full enlightenment right here while you are alive. But if due to some reason you could attain the perfection, some imperfection continued, if you have the backing of devotion, that will go on purifying your heart. And whatever imperfection was there at the time of your death, that imperfection will be corrected as you move on in the astral plane, in the subtle plane. So you don't have to come back. That form of liberation is called krama mukti, gradual liberation. Krama mukti occurs in your day-to-day life, while you are alive with this body. The entire plan of krama mukti can be achieved by you, or if you have achieved a certain degree, you may move on and complete the process after death. Now, therefore, try to understand what this krama mukti is. Utkranti smriti vakya sheshacha. This Sutra 81. The sutra simply means the same gradual process is declared by the concluding portion of the Smriti. Smriti means Gita. Points a finger to the Gita's statement. Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, Agni Jyoti Ahaha Shukla Shanmasa Uttarayanam Tatra Prayanta Gachanti Brahma Brahmavido Jana. In Gita chapter 8. This is a very famous statement. Most time people don't follow it. It's very allegorical. Literally, the statement is those people who have been successful yogis, who have done their duties well, have developed devotional mind, practice lot of japa, prayer, lots of meditation on God. but they have not achieved intellectual clarity about Brahman. They have not explored the Upanishads, the Vedanta philosophy. After their death, what they have not achieved, they will go on achieving in different levels without coming back. That's called Krama Mukti. I will simplify that for you. Simplified version is, in spiritual practice, you are called sadhaka, an aspirant. And as you practice, there is always movement up and down. 1 week you are successful in your meditation, your plan every day was wonderful. You are very happy, thinking about the next week you will enter into liberation. But suddenly you slipped, just like climbing a mountain. And you are seeing wonderful, but suddenly you slip. Again, you must know, in divine plan, your slipping down is also under control. You will not slip all the way down and break your legs. If you have practiced with sincerity and you are a person of integrity, but if a person is absolutely demoniac, then that's a different matter. So even when you fall, you don't fall all the way down, just fall to some extent and then start. As long as you are subject to rise and fall, you are not liberated. Therefore, your vigilance, your effort must be sustained. Now there comes a time that it is guaranteed rising and guaranteed no fall. Rising aspect guaranteed, but no guarantee about the speed. But what is guaranteed is no fall. Once you have reached that state, bravo, that's called Jivan Mukti, liberated in life. Who cares how long it takes? Once someone has served you a whole plate of wonderful food, and you have hardly started only on one item, who cares? So that's, having understood that, come to understand more important points. What are the things that indicate your spiritual progress? Spiritual progress sets in your life. You can continue the entire range of process within lifetime. If you miss, then balance will be perfected after. Agni, first point is Agni, fire. You receive the blessings of fire god. The allegorical implication is you develop vairagya, dispassion. Because fire god consumes all things and remains untouched, as it were. Fire god is a purifier. There's a lot of raga. Raga is attachment, deluded dependence on the world. Everywhere there is glue. You get touched, you are scratched. But vairagya means there is a fire in you that will not allow you to be bonded with the world of illusion. Again, come back to a very ordinary way, or rather practical way. You develop a mind That's not deluded by the idea that I have lived this life and I want to come back into a better life. I was not born in a good family, so let me be born in a royal family or in a very good family. All that type of fancy, if you have, whether you verbalize it or not, then Agni, the fire, is not in you. It's all wet, wet. You're in a marshy land. But if deep down in your heart you have developed that it is real, the world really can't give me full satisfaction, the idea will come back and become a baby, and people will bounce me up and down. Blessings for the parents, but what about the child? That fancy doesn't enter the mind. You have very clear understanding that that's not the goal. What should I do not to come back into that situation? And also, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam, the misery associated with getting born, to come into the world as a baby. You must realize all the babies coming into the world, they cry. But everybody around them laughs. You don't come into a world that is favorable to you. You come into the world of illusion. And when a person departs, all the pain that the person was experiencing moves away. Look at the face, becomes calm. But look at the faces of all the people around. They all cry. There's something disharmony in the world. So that vairagya develops in you, increasing this passion. And this has itself has a progressive movement. The point I was relating to, think about misery associated with birth, janam, misery associated with death. Not only at the time of death you begin to suffer, but throughout your life you are haunted by the fear of death. An unconscious fear broods over the mind of everyone. That's why even when you are going around, your eyes are fluttering all over. And the mosquitoes come to you and you step back. If a lizard falls on you, cry out. Human beings or all animals and birds, instinctive alertness, not to die, not to become a prey to accidents. And that's at the instinctive level. But then if you become more imaginative and sensitive, you have a little cold and you start thinking, now I have a flu. Soon I'm going to fly out. I'm making a joke out of it, but fear of different types. Fear of losing money, fear of losing fame, fear of being criticized, and countless fears. There is no end to it. Then there is old age, no matter how well you live, your hairs will turn snowy. Janam, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. And even though you are very healthy, then suddenly the doctor informs you something very shocking about you. Your heart has been very close to you. The doctor says there is a trouble in your heart. I'm not elaborating too much. So, all these are little gross way of developing vairagya. As intellect becomes more placid, it becomes a simple way to understand I am the sky. All things are clouds. So, the idea of being dependent on the clouds, being defined by the clouds, that cannot enter. You can't entertain it. So that's not real. Vairagya leads you to that level of detachment. Detachment is not cruel. It is not insensitivity. Akasha, the sky, is not insensitive to clouds. It allows them. Come, with my 1,000 arms I hold you. I can pet you. Whether they are black clouds, whether silvery clouds, all welcome. And when they all go away, welcome. I am unaffected. That's vairagya blended with viveka. Viveka is another term. Discriminative intellect. Intellect that separates. You separate the cloud aspect from the sky aspect. You separate a patch of blue, a little sky circled by clouds. That sky has developed its own individuality. It wishes that it should expand. And therefore it adores the clouds. Please move away a little bit, give me expansion. But some clouds don't. Some clouds do. I'm elaborating to make you understand that the patch of blue is nothing but the sky. The deepest level, you are like the sky. But in the state of ignorance, that illusion that you exist, dependent on the clouds for your personality. And clouds define you. If they are silvery and good clouds, you are wonderful. But if the clouds have come close, they have choked you. Reality is, you are not dependent. The deepest level, you are not dependent on the world. The entire world can be wiped away and it has nothing to do with it. But in the state of ignorance, even if a nail is wiped away, it means a terrible thing. Even an unwanted hair is taken away. Agni Jyoti, that's the term is Jyoti, Vivek. So you are developing more and more of detachment, more of increasing understanding that the self, the spirit, is different from matter. And matter doesn't exist. That's why people say it doesn't matter. See, Vedanta has gone into the fabric of day-to-day talk. Whenever there is a problem, say, never mind. Another step, it doesn't matter. If you really meant it, negate mind and matter, then you have no problems. Maya exists in the form of mind and matter. Your dependence on mind, dependence on matter. If you come to the grip of understanding, it doesn't matter. Clouds don't matter to the sky. And never mind. Good clouds have gone away and black clouds have come. Never mind. Agni Jyotir Aha. The third term, the first Agni, fire, relates to Vairagya, dispassion. Jyoti, light. Fire is more diffused. Jyoti is more highlighted aspect of fire. That relates to discriminative intellect. Intellect that is moving towards intuitional state. Therefore, there is clarity of what is true, what is false. The third aspect, aha. Aha relates to daylight. Daylight relates to your day-to-day activity. As long as you live, you have the possibility of doing something. What you do is not entirely for yourself. In an interrelated world, you are contributing to the world around you without your being aware of it. And that gives your life real satisfaction. The moment a person feels he can't do anything, people build up the idea, retirement is a wonderful thing. And then the mind develops the idea, when I retire, I do nothing. All this nonsense. Doing so many things. Only relax on an easy chair by the Miami beach, watching the sun go down. Day by day, you don't realize even 1 week is a boring predicament. And we trapped in that illusion for your entire time in old age. That's a terrible predicament. Not knowing, people by mistake, that by ignorance, lead themselves to that type of life. You can always go on learning, go on sharing, go on inspiring. There is no end to it. Go on being a mother, a father. Play with your grandchildren. Teach them mathematics. Figure out how can you reach children. How can you keep them amused and see them amused? Your heart feels glad. So why should old age be viewed as something melancholy, sad, waning? Rather, it should be the ripened state of your life. A ripe fruit looks at it. Look at it, it's wonderful. Therefore, all sages and saints, they have been described to be very, very old. The old-time concept was older a sage, more authentic his teaching. Because this much, from ordinary point of view, old means your senses are not so vasterous like Rajasic. ears are not so keen, so many of the noises you don't hear. The mind is not, for young people, it's a terrible time. How to shut out the sounds, shut out the noises. Old age has already provided that. So therefore, how to be focused on God, who is the greatest wealth of your life. So now, therefore, as age comes in, you are more focused on that which you like the best. And the world is shivering before you because your senses don't want to accept them. It's a dramatization. Therefore, age should not be viewed as something negative. But age is a process in which your soul is becoming more and more ripened, as it were. That's why the Triambakam mantra is done. Triambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushti vardhanam. You are like a fruit. Fruit trapped in the meshes, creepers of the world process. But as you gain sugandhim, sugandhi is good qualities. The divine qualities you begin to develop, that means fruit is coming. Your personality, your consciousness is becoming like a ripe fruit. But pushti, not only just look at a little mango, it smells wonderful, but as it ripens, you see it growing. Pushti vardhanam. Urvarukamyo bandhanan. The moment it has become completely ripe, moves away from the tree. The moment your soul has become extremely ripe, figurative language, extremely ripe means the soul has no need for what has developed vairagya. It has developed vivek. Love of God has filled it, full of nectar. Once your soul has come to that state, the entire world moves away from it. It will never get back to the world. Any ripe fruit, you can't ask it, go back. You were better there. So three things: vairagya, viveka, and performance of your duty in a spiritual way, seva karya. Serving people, sharing. Service, the spirit of service gives you greater fulfillment. Serve yourself from morning till evening. That won't give you much fulfillment. You get tired of it. But when you are able to share, help others, relieve their suffering, allow your knowledge to expand, that gives you much more fulfillment. And then when you realize that with your body, your reach is very limited. But with your words, your reach can be much more. So you start, what do? Twittering? Tweeting? Writing? Sharing your knowledge? But you come to third level. Simple words, if they are not backed up by an advanced mind, a lot of words. Palabras. The Spanish say. There is a stage where the mind is so vibrant that even if a sage didn't use any word, his presence inspires people. His presence acts on people like like radio waves, which is a very poor example. It touches countless minds automatically. That's why prayers, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, may all be happy. Your heart is very little, but it has the capacity to send out a prayer not for one or two people, for the entire universe. Because at deepest level, your capacity, your potentiality is beyond your imagination. This point is not understood by people. All they think they are just but the body. And then their mind is packed up with lots of problems of others, which you don't know whether those are real or not. Squeezed by all illusions, there is a constant expectation, this is what I should be. I will not dramatize that. So your spiritual progress has this threefold foundation: viveka, vairagya, performance of action. Now, come to a bigger level. Shukla Paksh. Shukla Paksh is as the moon waxes, the waxing period of the moon. 15 days is a waxing period, another 15 is waning period, roughly. Waxing period, again, has nothing to do with moon. The idea is a figurative. Your feeling blossoms, waxes. If your feeling today is like this much, 2 days, this much, that much. Your feeling becomes magnanimous. People become overflow with little feeling. Good feeling is not easy to get. But when you get it, if a heart is very small, it begins to overflow. However, your potentiality is not to stay like a little jar with little feeling. You can be a vast lake with your feeling constantly expanding. Can hold the entire universe in all its three planes. Your feeling has no end because it's feeling that comes from God. Movement toward God implies your feeling goes on, clarifying itself, purifying itself. While I'm describing in elegant words, don't expect that way to happen. It has its own progressive movement. People may have to go through distressed feelings, and as you become spiritually sensitive, you develop double consciousness. In the external world, your feeling flows according to the practical realities. A mother will always shed tears for her child. But while doing so, a mother can be also enlightened. At deeper level, can be completely relaxed. That's dramatized in the stories of Rama. Rama goes looking for Sita, crying. And every now and then he stops at a devotee and says, this world is illusion and nothing exists. So, now coming back to a very practical point. Spiritual progress means good feelings, good sentiments begin to dominate your personality. Compassion. Think of compassion. Think of patience. How easy it is to become agitated when you see someone didn't do what you wanted the person to do. People become agitated even if someone fell down and broke your something you like. The person didn't intend to fall down. I'm just trying to say how human heart is limited. But when you realize that you are developing goodness of the heart, you are able to have more patience, more forgiveness, more objectivity to things. You are not suddenly led by temper. Then you realize you are coming closer to God. Don't ask yourself, have you seen God? These are the symptoms of God's presence in you. Even if you have seen God, talking in an ordinary way, and you have not developed purity of heart and goodness of the heart, so what you have seen is not real God. So seeing God, attaining God realization has to be understood in a very subtle way. If you develop these qualities, you are coming closer to God without shaking hands with Him. So your heart, feeling blossoms and blossoms. Shanamasa Uttarayanam. Then he describes 6 months of the solar journey, northern process of the sun, which means daylight begins to increase. 6 months get involved in the increasing of the daylight until it rises, until the day becomes very long. That again has nothing to do with daylight. It's simply a symbolic of consciousness. Your consciousness goes on expanding and expanding and expanding until there is infinite expansion. So that's what happens. That's called Krama Mukti. If you have come to that state, your journey is over. This journey starts in your day-to-day life. You develop Vairagya, fire of Vairagya, the light of discriminative knowledge, and the daylight of activity, good action. Good feeling expands, and naturally your intellect becomes intuitional. And you realize, I am not limited to the body, not conditioned by time and space. I am the absolute, the entire ocean, as it were, ocean of existence, knowledge and bliss. Whoever attains that will not come back. And with this we conclude. Om Shanti Shanti.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of spiritual growth. It's an honor to learn from the wisdom of Swami Jyotirmayananda. As we part for now, remember, the quest does not end. Take time to reflect on today's insights and integrate them into your life. Until next time, stay open, stay curious, stay present. The light within you is always shining.